Hi, good morning, Facebook. Welcome back to my page. I am just going to share this video into a couple of my pages and then I will get started on magnetism. I hope you guys had a really good weekend. I know I have personally been on the road, I feel like, for 2 weeks. Actually, I feel like I've been on the road for like 3 or 4 months because we have been traveling so much with my husband, who, let me put on my glasses so I can see. He had a lot of medical conferences in a couple of different cities, so we were fortunate enough to be able to travel with him, and we got to see North Carolina, another city in South Carolina, and then also DC. So we have been doing that over the past couple of months. Then we just got back from Ohio. We were visiting family in Ohio. I'm sorry, I'm just waiting for my Facebook page to load here on my computer so that I can share this. So we have been traveling, and then I just went to Atlanta this weekend to visit my other house. So I'm finally back in town, and we begged off of actually going to the beach again today. My son is in town, and Facebook is just not cooperating whatsoever. It's like loading and loading and loading. So I will be right with you guys. I just want to share this right quick so that I don't have to repeat myself often. The title of today's brief chat is magnetism and the power of magnetism. And it's a really fun and interesting topic for me because I'm always challenging myself to create a space in my life where I can meditate on certain ideologies, certain ideas, and see whether or not it's actually a fit for my life. And feminist versus feminine are two subjects that, I not really grapple with, but that I discuss within myself quite a bit. Because, the thing is that many of us have been raised on feminist ideals, and it has shaped our perception of what it is to be a woman. And in doing so, we've lost what it means to be a woman. We've lost the ideals that are true to us and actually what we were born with. I mean, in the sense that, you are born a woman. For those of us who are born a woman, we have certain innate qualities that are true to us from birth. And these are innate qualities that, we have had as little children, but somehow or other they have been educated out of us, and we have been, suffering and laboring under a lifestyle and a mindset that doesn't necessarily suit us, doesn't necessarily fit the truth of who we are. And though feminist ideologies about, you can do, be, and have everything that a man has, though it has helped us in many ways, such as in voting, or many other aspects of life, job quality, job advancement. And so, kudos and hallelujah for that. But at the end of the day, we have gained certain advancements, and then we have lost other aspects of life because we've gotten to a point where, we're questioning, how do I get back some of the other things I've lost? Or I feel like I'm a perfect success. I'm doing really well, in one aspect of my life, meaning my job, my career, my ability, to get certain things done. But then, we feel as if, other aspects of our life, such as our faith in ourselves, our ability to have, prosperous relationships, our ability to really attract good people that are beneficial to our own growth, and people who truly love us for ourselves, we find that that's a little bit difficult. And so one of the feminine gifts that we have all been blessed with is the power of magnetism. And when we speak about our power of magnetism as a woman, it's about our sexuality, and not in the brash, over the top, over sexualization of our gender, but it is more the fact that, we are beautiful beings, beautiful creatures, visually beautiful to look at. And when we are also happy within ourselves, when we are experiencing a level of joy in life, when we are experiencing a level of satisfaction, a level of inner peace, a level of being at ease with ourselves, being comfortable with who we are. When we really experience that in our personal lives, we have a natural magnetism that we may not have noticed, but it's something that when we are talking about having better relations with men, or being able to attract better quality men into our life, or when we're even speaking about attracting better people in general. Maybe we want to network with different types, different circles, and then we are thinking about who we are, how we represent ourselves out into the world, who we are when we step out into this world. Your magnetism is a natural gift to yourself, and your natural magnetism truly is an inside job. And so even if you are not at the tip top in terms of, your weight goals, your body goals, your, hair goals, your clothes goals, but when you have a natural level of feminine magnetism, that's born out of your happiness with yourself. And in other words, your ability to see yourself for the truth of who you really are, and not feel the need or the pressure to exert yourself into the world, but to simply be. And that was a really difficult concept for me, because I was so used to operating in my masculine mode, which is outwards, which is going out into the world and, being forceful and going for that job, going for that position, and using different skills for different things in my life, different aspects of my life. But understanding that I can have a presence, a feminine presence in my life that doesn't require me shooting out into the world from a masculine point of view. But a feminine presence is one which is an internal job. It is a sense of calm. It's a sense of awareness. It's a sense of groundedness. It's a sense of true joy. And when I talk about true joy, what I mean by that is that if you are focused on yourself, if you are focused on your own personal goals, if you're not worrying about, oh, well, I can't do this and I can't do that because I'm not ready yet, or I haven't reached these weight goals, I haven't reached whatever it is. I can tell you, as a woman who is now married, and I think about my life before the marriage, I think about all the goals that I had, and I think about the joy it gave me to be self-possessed. Meaning that I had certain desires in my life. I had certain level up goals that I wanted for myself. And I was every single day focused on those goals. So whether it was weight loss, or whether it was leveling up my, learning new makeup techniques, whether it was learning meditation, whether it was reading certain books and delving into femininity, all of these very subjects brought me a sense of joy. It brought me a sense of fulfillment in myself. It gave me a level of excitement, because I filled my life not with, gossip and, distractionary tactics out in the world, but I really filled myself with education, knowledge. I felt like I was pouring into myself. I was learning more about self-care and, working out, and how to care for my skin, how to get that glow up, how to feel more at ease and at peace with myself and with my life. It required a level of healing, working through some of my angst, working through some of my guilt at mistakes I'd made in my life. There were so many things that I was so busily being busy about, but in a very self-assured way, that I realized that it was an internal job. And the more that I journaled, the more that I did self-care rituals, the more that I focused on myself and created little wins every single day, was the more that my level of self-confidence rose. And the more that my level of self-confidence rose, the more I felt grounded within myself. And my self-love grew, because I understood that the person that I am inside was finally being able to flex, finally able to just come out of her shell and enjoy life from a different point of view, not from action and masculine activity in regards to, going for the latest promotion or getting my supervisors to see what a great worker I was, or how educated I am, or how talented I was in various aspects of my life. But it was more about pleasing myself, getting myself to understand that I am the CEO of my own life. I'm running my own life, and I am educating myself. I'm going to school, so to speak, as a new student of myself. And being a student of myself, understanding that there is just an entire universe and world that we can explore in ourselves, a sense of beauty in just getting to know who we are from a very deep, innate level. And so that began to raise even more confidence, even more self-love, and I began to smile more. I began to have a level of investment, a level of peace. And when you, I guess what I really it's a difficult thing in a way to put into words, and in a way it isn't. But when you consider yourself as a feminine, divine being, so to speak, whether you view yourself as just, getting into your feminine goddesshood, your traditional feminine ways, you realize that you are a gift. You're like a beautifully packaged box with bows and gorgeous wrapping paper. And everything that's inside you is a gift that you have to offer to the world, or to the people in your circle, or to your husband, and your children. In other words, you have a well of knowledge and loving, nurturing, caring attributes that are soothing and healing and nurturing. And it's a level of attributes which is ever expanding. It's as if you never stop exploring the depths of who you truly are as a feminine, beautiful being. You have so much to offer to the world. You have so much to discover about yourself. Even if you lived 120 years, you still would never, finish your journey in terms of understanding the beauty of feminine essence. It's such a beautiful essence. It's such a beautiful way of being that we don't even tap into 10% of it, if you ask me. And so that's very much like, scientists say that we're only using a very small percentage of our brain power in our lives. To me, that's the same thing for your feminine gifts and your feminine essence. And it's a very difficult concept to understand if you've not practiced it and if you've not become aware of it. But just by you appreciating yourself, just by you loving who you are as a feminine being, you become a magnet, because our emotions are magnetic. Our thinking is electric, and this is how we create an electromagnetic field around ourselves, is through the combination of our thoughts and our emotions. And as women, we are powerful emotional beings, and it's a very positive aspect of ourselves. And if a greater aspect of ourselves is our emotionalism, then we have to understand what a gift that is when it's used positively, when it's appreciated, when it's embraced. And as it's embraced, if your emotions are magnetic and if they draw to you, imagine the power of your embracing the beauty of your magnetism. So when you are living a life that is filled with the discovery of who you are, that's filled with your just being so engrossed in exploring your femininity, which means your relaxed state of being, which means the things that you do to better yourself, not in a competitive way, but just in a way of bringing out your gifts in an even greater expansive way. That's a very magnetic energy that you are exuding. And it's a little bit difficult to understand, like I said, if you're not used to it or if you don't know how to recognize the results of it. But when you find a woman out in public, let's say at a store or at a party, and she's smiling, that's one of the most beautiful things on a woman is her smile. And it's amazing how many of us, due to our stressful lives and our lifestyles, how rarely we really smile. And I don't mean just, hi, how are you? And then you go on about your day and you walk into the office. But I mean a smile from your gut, a smile from deep within your heart that radiates up and then out of you. That level of a self-satisfactory smile seated in a joy that comes from nowhere else but from inside you. It's not dependent on anyone else, but you're being able to greet the world with an openness, a level of comfort, a level of happiness at just being you. That is something that is extremely powerful. It's a powerful energy that we've been given, and it's a powerful energy, let's say, for the opposite sex, for those who are in their healthy masculine mode. And when they see a woman who is really able to present that aspect of herself without fear that she's going to be taken advantage of, or without fear that she's looking vulnerable. But when you're in an attraction mode, when you are wanting to attract more into your life, more high level, high energy, high power beings, places, and things into your life, that requires a level of magnetism within you. That requires your raising your, elevating or raising your energy to such a state where you are vibrating on the same level, and understanding that it's not about necessarily doing, but it's about being. But the doing of it means that that's what you do on a regular basis to create an energy and an environment around you which encourages your femininity. So creating an environment around yourself that encourages your femininity means that you believe that you deserve what you are creating. So if you are saying that you want a life that's more steeped in self-care, then that means that you have to put that first. You have to make that self-care lifestyle a non-negotiable. It has to be something that's not an option. And then you say, well, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for this. You would be surprised that when you actually make time for it, whether it's waking up earlier, whether it's removing something from your life, whether it's moving your focus from things that are not valuable to you, things that are not helping your life, and putting that focus into that self-care, you would be surprised at how your life shifts. You would be surprised at how time expands. In other words, if you are saying, I don't have time to take a bath, even though I know, taking a nice spiritual bath in the morning, a nice relaxing bath with some candles and really nice music around me, I know it will relax me. I know my skin will feel really good. I put the bath salts in and my whole day would probably shift, but I just don't have time. Well, if you get up 30 minutes earlier, 45 minutes earlier, and you sit in that bath and you do for you, you put yourself first, you become the CEO of your life where you direct time as opposed to time directing you. Now all of a sudden you're going about your day less rushed. You're feeling much more beautiful and supported because why? You supported yourself that morning. Now all of a sudden the things that you might have done from the same mode of rush, stress, getting tense, opening yourself up to, frustration and anger throughout your day, you will have supported yourself. Whereas you would have felt like, I'm not supported, I just don't have, people in my life who will support my self-care. I just don't have time. My ex-husband, blah, my something, my boss, whoever, whatever, I'm just not supported in my life. Well, what that really means, and what you're really saying into yourself, is that I don't support myself. And so we would say, well, I do. I mean, I'm working. I'm a single mom. I'm supporting myself financially. I'm doing everything myself. Of course, I'm supporting myself. That means you're living life. You are living, and you're doing what you have to do, but it doesn't mean you are supporting your inner self. And so what happens when you support yourself? It means that you put yourself first. And anything that you're asking of the outside world, what you are doing is you are showing that you are able to first give it to yourself. And so when you are now on the dating scene, let's give an example, and you say, hey, I live a life of luxury, because you're really calling some of the things that you want into your life, and you're calling some of the attributes of the man that you want in your life. And you say, I like fine dining, and I love to visit museums. I love spa, and I love to do all these really nice things for myself. I have this lifestyle. But when in all actuality, on your day-to-day basis, you don't do these things for yourself. You're not going to museums. I'm just giving an example. I know for myself, prior to my getting my life together, I wasn't going to museums. I wasn't taking myself out to fine dining. I wasn't buying really good, nutritious foods for my home and cooking really great meals with these really nice, high quality ingredients. I wasn't focusing on my self-care. I was always doing ripping and running and doing everything else, and then saying I didn't have time. So when I was putting that out on my dating profiles, 2 years ago or whatever, thinking that was going to attract a great guy, my entire energy said otherwise. And the thing is that men are not idiots. They are going to see when they first meet you, they can tell right off the bat if you are truly a high value woman, if you're a woman who puts yourself first, if you're a woman who really supports your happiness, that you do not require someone else taking you to the spa or someone else buying you a gift in order for you to feel high value and to feel worthy. Because when you show up as a high value, high worthy, well-worth woman, you are doing these things for yourself because you are accustomed to that lifestyle. And when you're accustomed to that lifestyle, you have a sense of centeredness, of a grounding. You have a sense of well-being around you. You have an aura around you, which is magnetic, which is easily seen. It's easily felt. And you just have an energy about you that's very different from the woman who's more so in her masculine, ripping and running, competitive mode. And so this is when we say, you can fool yourself, but you can't fool others. And that's really, really important for us to grasp as women who are seeking to understand our feminine magnetism. Because your magnetism isn't something you can fake. It's not something that you can force. It is a natural energy that is seeping out of your pores. It's a result of a lifestyle that is authentic. And an authentic, well-loved, well-loving lifestyle is magnetic. People want it. Why? Because it's rare. People are not out here feeling great. I mean, just to be honest, people are not out here being happy, being, well-mannered and courteous and unrushed and, unbothered, but unbothered in, a serene way. People are not out here doing that, to be honest. That's why when you see it, it's magnetic. You're like, oh, she's different. Like, what is it about her that, like, she's just so together? How is she so put together? But she's put together inside. So it's an internal job. And understanding that when you are in the presence, let's say again, example of men, and you're in the dating world and you are wanting to attract a life partner and whatnot, your magnetism is an authentic internal job. It doesn't mean you are 100% healed. It doesn't mean that, you've achieved everything that you want to, but it means that you are engaged, openly and authentically engaged in the process of becoming. So it's kind of like Michelle Obama's book, Becoming Michelle, and she talks about her life journey and whatnot, and even the shifts that she had to, undertake when, Barack won the presidency. Like, that was huge. Or you think about Meghan Markle, who was already in a wonderful place. She was doing that magnetic work on herself. When you look at her book list prior to, taking down her TIG website and whatnot. But she was already deeply and heavily engaged in the art of her femininity, in the art of being Meghan Markle. And she was enjoying it. She was loving it. She was at her peak because she practiced it. And she was truly engaged and obsessed with what she loved. And that made her a magnetic person. But then once she got the next level and met Harry and, had the wedding and the life, she had to immerse herself in a whole new level, which is hundreds of years of traditions of royalty. And I mean, if you can imagine what that requires for her to learn, if that wasn't the end goal, being Meghan Markle and meeting Harry, she had to hit a whole nother level of traditions and monarchy. Like that's a whole huge thing. You don't just walk into that. But she was able to do that because she'd already done so much internal work with herself. And the trials and tribulations of, the world not appreciating her, certain segments of population. So she's dealing with a lot, but she could not have done that if she had not had the engagement with her internal royalty, her internal world. And so I mentioned those two, both Michelle and Meghan, because these are people that I also admire, that I follow. I watch their energy, their magnetic level. These are self-possessed women. They are possessing themselves fully and completely and honoring the growth process, because they understand that as long as they're alive, they never stop growing, they never stop healing, they never stop learning, but they've made a lifelong commitment to being authentically present in their life. And when you are authentically present, you are a magnetic being. I mean, people cannot help but want to have some of that energy, to want to soak it up, to want to be around you. So we can fool ourselves if we're saying, oh, I'm getting my hair done and I get my nails done and, I read a few self-help books here and there. But overall, you're not truly comfortable in your skin at whatever size, at whatever, the way in which you're appearing here and now, even though you may have future goals. People can sense that if you are not comfortable in exploring who you are, in elevating who you are, in forgiving yourself, in embracing yourself in your wholeness, even as you want to learn, grow, and experience a new you. If you are not truly invested in yourself, people can tell. People can see and sense and feel when you are not invested in your femininity. And so to me, if people are able to see that and feel that coming out of you, it means that you are still magnetic. You are still a person who is drawing things to you. But then the question is, are you drawing what you really, sorry, got a little fruit fly. Are you really drawing what it is that you say that you want into your life? And for me, that is the question of magnetism, the exercise that I would like you to consider as you are growing in your femininity, is think about what you are drawing to yourself based on what you are giving to yourself. If you are giving yourself moments of happiness, if you are giving to yourself moments of rewards and wins and putting yourself first in terms of waking up 30 minutes earlier or going for a walk during your lunch break and listening to something of your favorite, one of your favorite speakers' videos on YouTube. Are you walking after work, or are you picking up some high quality fruit that you think that maybe you can't afford, but in fact, even as you eat it and you mindfully eat this piece of fruit, knowing that it is filled with gorgeous, luscious vitamins and minerals, and you are giving this to your body on purpose. You're not just stuffing food down your mouth because you've only got 30-minute lunch break or whatever it is, but are you intentionally giving to yourself as much as you can every single day? Are you embodying yourself? Are you mindful of your thoughts? And are you thinking, is that a good thought for me? Is that a helpful thought? Is this a nourishing thought? Or are you just going through your day on autopilot, recycling the same thoughts day in and day out? Because they say that You know, we pretty much think between 70 and 90% of the same thoughts every single day. We might dress it in a different clothes and whatnot, but we are pretty much always immersed in our past. We are always thinking about who said what to us last month and last week that really pissed us off. And now we're going into the office and we're thinking about these people who maybe make us feel insecure, or they're, you know, bitchy, I don't know what. And you're thinking about what they said yesterday and how you really don't like that and how sick you are of your life and your job. We think these same thoughts every single day. And so we think that we're being original. We think that we're being super different, and, you know, that we are just living this vibrant life, when in fact, if you become conscious of your thinking, if you actually watch your thoughts, if you become an observer of your mind, you will really realize that you're actually thinking the same thoughts every single day. And if you're thinking the same thoughts and living the same life every single day without interrupting that process, how can you expect different results? How can you expect to become a different you when you're thinking the same thoughts and you're being the same person every single day? And that's what happened to me. I was shocked when I was like, oh, you know, how dare you? But I had to really think about it. And sometimes when I get into a rut, I realize I'm thinking the same negative thoughts, which is based on the past, every single day. And that's a slap in the face, because clearly not all of my thoughts are the best. And so interrupting that process, arresting that autopilot mode, takes energy, and it takes purpose. It takes intent. It takes an embodiment of not only your mind, but your heart and yourself. And as you embody your mind, heart, and self, then you realize that the person that I want to be that's over here doesn't think these thoughts, doesn't look this way, and doesn't eat these foods, doesn't stress over this or that, but they are completely focused on what got them to where they are. And to be completely focused on what got them to where they are, they had to be eating different foods. They had to be doing different things, such as working out regularly. They had to be feeding themselves the best quality ingredients. They had to be drinking 85,000 gallons of water a day to have this glowing skin that I say I want, but I'm not drinking any water and I keep forgetting it every day. You know, they're not doing the things that I was doing because they have different results than I had. So I had to ask myself, what am I really committed to here? Stop with the lip service. Stop with the, you know, oh yeah, I'm going to do it, blah, blah, blah. But you never drink up that, you know, cup of water, or get this big gallon, or go buy yourself. Every day you forget to do it. I've done this a million times. So I'm not saying you, I'm speaking more to myself. And that's why even on my weight journey, in my weight loss journey, I realized that it's not about what I want. It's not about my goal. It's really about, who do I have to be in order to get to here? Who do I have to be to lose this weight, to look the way I want to look at the age of 47, and, you know, 4 kids later and all of that? Like, who do I really have to be? And so I realized that who I had to be to look like that, which might be some 30-year-old girl, I don't know, but who worked out, who's got her body going on. I don't have limits on myself to say that, oh, just because I'm 47 and I've had 4 kids, that I can't be fit, that I can't look a certain way. You know, we have the ability to look much younger and, you know, do the things in our life that really brings us joy, and even joy brings us a level of youthfulness. So I wasn't going to put limits on myself, but at the same token, I knew that I wasn't doing what this one is doing over here to get that. And I wasn't going to just blame her age, because there's plenty of women in their 20s who are completely obese, unhealthy, and years apart from, you know, this 30-year-old gal who is looking like a snack. You know what I'm saying? And so I had to get very real with myself and set a lifestyle and become a different person. And I had to challenge myself to do that. And I realized that as I was challenging myself to do that, my magnetism raised. So in other words, my husband sensed the difference in me, that, wow, like, you're really committed to this. It's not like last year I had this big fitness kick, but because it wasn't real inside of me, 100%, I gave up within a month. I hit a plateau. I got pissed. I threw everything away, and I told him, I don't care anymore. I'm just not even going to worry about this. Let me think about something else, like home decor. And I moved on. And he was like, okay. And he was fine with as I was. I was not. but I was not 100% committed to that, even though I thought I was. But I realized that it is a comprehensive lifestyle shift that I did not create. And so this time around, as I'm doing that and I'm 100% focused on myself, and my level of self-confidence shot up when I realized I'm huffing and puffing, but I'm going to do this because I still have these goals. So my level of magnetism shot up because every day I was feeling great as I worked out, even though I was pouring sweat. I was exhausted. I wanted to give up just body wise because I couldn't do it. I couldn't get through a 3-mile power walk without needing a nap like afterwards. But within days and weeks, and because I had other women with me, I had accountability partners, I couldn't get out of it because I started it. I asked them to join me. Within days, I began to see a difference. I began to have hope. Things started fitting better. Literally within days. By the second week, I saw myself able to actually jog. Then I was able to jog even further. And I was seeing a change in my face. The weight was drifting. Oh, lighting is, sorry you guys, the sun is really coming in now. And so I was really at a space where I was seeing the results, and it was so wonderful that I felt so good about myself. You know, I felt like, wow, I'm really making a difference in my life. And as I was feeling that way, you know, he simply observed, but you know, he could see that I was in a different space. And before you knew it, he started going out and jogging with me. He became like my coach, pushing me even further. He was enjoying, you know, my belt tightening and, you know, looking even more svelte in my dresses. And, you know, I'd send him different photos of different outfits, and he was really, really enjoying it. Changing my hair every couple of days, just being all about me. And I'm constantly telling ladies that be about you, but in a positive way. We're not talking about being selfish and ridiculous. What we're saying is that, you know, being self-engrossed, putting your money where your mouth is in terms of your energy. If you say you're high value and, you know, you want to level up, you know, being in a space where, you know, you're actually doing it. So you begin to embody that. And men like that. They want to be around happy women who feel accomplished, not about the day job accomplished, but who feel accomplished in their own femininity, who feel accomplished in setting their goals and reaching them, and being solidified in your energy, being more magnetic, smiling more, being more loving towards yourself first and foremost. Men are attracted to that because that's not how they get through their day. That's not how they, you know, create change and shift in their life. They do it from a more masculine point of view, which is what we're used to in the day job, but they're not used to the way in which we can go about it from a very innate internal point of view. So I would ask you to maybe think about a couple of women in your life that you admire, you know, who are very magnetic in their energy, who you just want to be around because they're just so positive and engaged in their life. They're authentic in their representation of who they really are from a feminine point of view, without fear of being vulnerable. They're really doing that internal work. Think about them. Think about their energy, how you just like being around them, how you just like, you know, grabbing up some of their energy, not in a negative way, not in a vampiric way, but just in the sense of, you know what, it feels good when I'm around them. What is that? What is it that they have that I feel like I don't have, or that I'm struggling with? Why is it that I like to be around them? Begin really investigating it. That's what, anything that I'm interested in, I study it. I get completely immersed in it. I look at it 5 different ways. I turn it inside out, right side out, upside down. I do whatever I have to do to investigate and analyze, what is this? What is this? I see this, I want it, but what is it? What's the true essence of this that I'm so attracted to? And then from there, you know, I begin to realize, okay, then who do I have to be? Not what do I have to do, but who do I have to be to bring that out of myself, or to incorporate that in my life? Because it's the understanding that it's not something that you have to go and buy, but it's something that you have to bring up out of yourself. And that's a completely different way of looking at your level up. I'm sorry about the lighting, you guys. I got the sun coming up on me. Now it looks like I got a mustache. So anyway, I am getting ready to go hit the sauna and detox this body a little bit, get my exercise on, and really get into a space of enjoying myself. I just got in from the beach. I did a different hairstyle. I'm doing like a different hairstyle every 4 days. And I love it. I love the shift. I love sending my husband photos. He's out of town right now. And he's like, oh, you changed. I'm a different person almost every other day. He loves seeing the new belted photos with, the new body that's emerging. He is so happy and excited about it. And he's looking at me in awe, in the sense of, she just keeps changing. She says she's going to do something, and she just does it. And she goes about it, in a very pointed way. And it's amazing, that level of magnetism, because it's not about me being, my femininity is not something that makes me less than or makes me underneath a man. In fact, it's something that level of magnetism that I, hope to increase and expand, is something that brings out his masculinity, his giving nature, and my being able to receive myself first and foremost and give to myself makes him want to give to me more. And so it's crazy how, even this weekend, he cleaned the whole house while I was in Atlanta. I mean, literally, when I say clean, like, he literally cleaned. He went out and bought food for us to be able to cook and eat when we got back in town. He vacuumed, he mopped the floors, he was scrubbing stuff. And I felt kind of bad, because being a housewife, I was kind of like, but I was very clear to show my appreciation. I can't believe you did all of this when you've still got to catch up on his work stuff. He was out of work last week because we were in Ohio, so he didn't go into work. He had so much to do, and yet his first thing was to make sure he gassed up the van before we left town and vacuumed it out, and then he cleaned the whole house. And then he even bought me a greeting card and left it and said, hey, I left a card for you, because by the time I returned to town, he had already flown out of town. And so he left this beautiful card for me. And I thanked him for cleaning. I thanked him for, all that he did for me. And I said, I know being home, I really probably should be cleaning a lot more. And he's like, no, I totally understand. You've got the children, you're homeschooling. I can totally see how that would be the last on your list. And it's not like the house was like filthy, ridiculous. I'm just talking about the deep cleaning stuff. But that's, again, what I try to share with ladies. Your level of magnetism, your level of being able to receive and be loving and appreciative towards your husband is same thing as you're being able to be loving and appreciative towards yourself and doing for yourself. And you will get yourself into a space where, men want to actually do more for you, because your happiness is contagious. A good man wants to see you happy and fulfilled. It gives him a sense of pride to know that he is able to afford a lifestyle where his wife does not have to work. And he's able to afford the lifestyle where his wife can be home doing what she needs to do in terms of, working out, taking care of the children, educating them, taking them out on errands, cooking every day, which I basically do. And I have to literally fight him on washing the dishes after I cook dinner. And this is him after, going and being a medical director and a physician every day. He takes care of people. He's always doing stuff. Hi, Connie. He has his whole career, and yet he's still doing for me. He still wants to wash the dishes. He's still appreciative that I cook every day, and he makes sure he tells the kids, hey, kids, isn't this meal great? Thank your mom, and blah, blah, blah. But I was so shocked that he literally cleaned this whole house while I was gone in Atlanta. And then left me a greeting card saying, what a joy I am to him, and my happiness to him is everything. He said he left it on the table. I got home. I can show you all this in the other room. And so after doing all this work as the man who is out here working a day job, so your femininity is not about you, what women say, being in barefoot, pregnant in the kitchen, because oftentimes when you are really being a feminine woman, embracing your beauty and your happiness and going for your goals, working out and all of that, that makes them want to do more for you. It makes them proud. And he said this morning, I sent him another picture, and he was like, oh my God. And in fact, Connie, I had shown him your photo and you put it side by side. And he said, I didn't even know the difference when you sent me the first photo in the black shirt. And then the second photo you showed was the same shirt with a belt on. And all he said was, oh yeah, the belt makes a big difference. And I was like, but you don't see the weight loss? Like, you don't see the difference? And he's like, you know what, I guess, he said this morning, as a man, I guess it's hard for us to see the difference like that. But he said, once you sent that photo of you side by side, the first photo and then the second photo, he was like, oh my God, it was like amazing. And he said, I'm so thrilled, as a physician, I would love to have a healthy wife. I would love to have, a wife who's not got diabetes and heart, disease and all of that. I want a healthy wife. And he says, but he's just like, oh my God. So every day I'm sending him, like today I'm wearing some shorts that are size 11. And I wasn't even able to get them up my knees when I bought them like 4 years ago. For some reason I kept them as goals, but I never worked towards the fitness to get myself down. But I sent it to him and he was like, oh my God, like, wow. And he kind of liked them. He loves it when I wear my little jeans and the belt. And he's like, you got to keep wearing these belts because it shows that, the hourglass figure, so to speak. Men are visual. Men are, they are visual. They love to see, a smaller waist, a belted waist. And it just is what it is. And this is something that by me just investing in myself, investing in my health, investing in my looks, he's like doing so much more around the house, and I'm very thankful for it. I didn't ask him to do that, but he is thrilled by it. He loves having a wife who's looking younger and younger and younger and smaller, who says a goal that she wants to reach and who actually does it. Like, to him, that is completely amazing. He's really excited by it. Oh, thank you, Connie. So yeah, I'm going to keep going. I'm sorry about this. I got these wooden blinds here. I started the video off and I had a regular face, and now I got all these lines going on. But I got my gear on. I'm going to go to the sauna this morning, so I'm not heavily made up, and probably do a yoga class. And I'm going through my closet this weekend. Today. He did all the laundry. I came back, all the laundry was out on the bed. I don't know what he was doing, and he still had to fly out yesterday morning before I even drove back into town. And he had the laundry done, the house cleaned, left me a greeting card. And I was like, wow, so I made sure to thank him. I made sure to let him know, how much I admire him, and appreciate him, and and just that he, he's goals for me because he's able to get so much done. And especially when women are like, oh, I'm not going to be a housewife and sitting around and just cooking and cleaning. He would do all that stuff if I let him. And he's still working the full job and I'm still at home. So it's not what you think, but your magnetism, your level of magnetism is an internal job. He's very sweet. And he's very, very sweet. He's a very, very good man. And I knew what I was looking for. I wasn't looking for Richard Gere and all of that. I was looking for a real man, a loving man, a very masculine man from a marriage culture who understands exactly what he wants and what he wants in a feminine woman, and a woman who wants to continuously grow and expand. That is truly what he was looking for. And I thrill him on a regular basis because I am who I said I was, which is constantly evolving, constantly getting better, and being the woman that I want to be. And as I do that from an internal job, that is a level of magnetism that he simply enjoys. It's a new wife every day, a new hairstyle almost every other day. I'm dropping the pounds, looking thinner, changing clothes, becoming. And I expect for him to understand what a good investment he made in me. So he's paying off my credit cards. He's, clearing out my debt. I'm able to be home and school my children. All of that is the magnetism that I'm talking about, ladies, that is absolutely critical for your own happiness and putting yourself first, and then realizing that a good man wants you to do that. A good man is not asking you what you bring to the table, or what can you do for him, or all of this other nonsense that women are putting up with in discussions they're having. A good man is asking, you to be your best you, and then what can he do, because he's enjoying the show with popcorn. Like, he's enjoying the show that you are presenting for his life. So thank you, Connie. So anywho, I'm gonna go, as I have a few more things to do. I have another video to do on my own page, and then I gotta hit the sauna in the spa a little bit, and then come back and start cleaning out my closet, taking out all the clothes that don't fit well, and really and really get myself together. I'm gonna go clean out my closet, so I'm excited about that, to make space for the new clothes that I will be buying as of my August 31st date. My deadline is coming up. Have a great day, ladies, and again, think about this magnetism, and hope some of this resonated with you. I'm going to share this onto my YouTube channel, Leah Love Online, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.